are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be reviewing the new Dawn of DC book, Green Arrow #1. Written by Joshua Williamson, art by Sean Assaski, colors by Romalo Fajardo Jr., and letters by Troy Petiri. Now, if you've been watching some of the reviews I've been doing since I kind of ramped things up, I've been doing a lot more things on YouTube. I hope that people have noticed, right? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but I haven't loved a lot of the things that I have been reviewing. It's been a rough patch for me, but overall, I am honest with my reviews. I think that everybody should be honest with their reviews, right? But everybody has their own thing. Everybody likes things differently, whatnot, but I try not to fake the funk. I try to be honest, and honestly, we've been going through a bit of a rough patch with books lately. Now, I'm glad that we have this Green Arrow coming out because finally you can see that old Jimmy Boy here, he does love comics because, spoiler alert, I love this comic. Now, speaking of spoilers, I'm not going to spoil too much in this issue. I'm not one who cares much personally about spoilers, but there's always those things that you realize, like, yeah, this should be experienced by each person by themselves without any knowledge going forward. So it's going to end up probably making this review not as meaty as some, but if you do end up wanting to hear more of an in-depth, discussion of everything that we do here on the YouTube channel, please check out our DC Comics podcast. It's the Weird Science DC Comics podcast where we go more in depth with each and every book. That's just a side little backdoor ad, right? But we'll get into this. Oliver Queen has had a rough couple of years, but finally things are looking up. Maybe not for him just yet, but fans of the Green Arrow family, it's looking up for them. Recently, Connor Hawke returned and was part of the Lazarus Island fighting tournament in the Robin book. Black Canary was a major player in that really odd Deathstroke Inc. book that kind of morphed into Dark Crisis. Even Leon Harper showed up as one of Catwoman's strays. And boy, Roy, one of my favorite characters, at least he's alive. We haven't done much with him since Infinite Frontier started, but he's alive. That's fine with me as a start. Now, it's up to them to find Oliver and make everything right. So let's get into this right after I ask everybody to subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Like the video, enable the notifications, and let me know what you think of Green Arrow #1 in the comments below. Now, the issue opens with a real quick swerve, making you think Oliver is back on the island. I rolled my eyes a bit, turned the page. Oh, okay. This feels bigger, ties into one of the biggest questions left after Dark Crisis. Why didn't Oliver return with the Justice League, and where the hell is he? After a really awesome-looking Green Arrow recap spread page, we see that Dinah is working on that big question with Mr. Terrific. But we also get what I really want out of this book, Roy Harper and Connor Hawke. Now, we get some really, really good-looking character recaps, and it's obvious Joshua Williamson is making sure that nobody's left behind with these characters. And while long-term readers could look at the character recaps as a little bit extraneous, I love them. I always love it, and especially when you end up where you introduce them with the logo of the character. That's something that it's silly. It always gets me. From the start, this book has the feel that I want out of the Dawn of DC books. And as it progresses, it even has a great Rebirth feel to it as well. And as for that Rebirth feel, I'm not going to spoil too much in this review. There is a scene in this book that it made me get feels the likes of which I have not had since Wally came back in the Rebirth special 7 years ago. It's been 7 years since that Rebirth special. And if you're like me, that was like the last golden age. You ended up, everything seemed good. Everything seemed with that promise of love and family. Oh my God, this is going to be great. The new 52, the DCYOU, they're behind us. We're getting to something that everybody can get behind until DC ruined it. Now, I'm not sure that the scene in this book will have as big an impact with everyone as the Wally scene, but it still is something that a lot of DC fans have been waiting for, and it hit pretty hard for me. Overall, though, this issue is about family. But as things continue, the warm feels give way to anger and frustration as we see that someone or something will not allow the Green Arrow family to stay together and be happy. And it's almost as if, this is sort of a meta type thing, but the only clue that we get that might end up solving something is the mention of Amanda Waller, which is kind of cool with kind of her wondering what she's up to. The last thing we saw was in the War for 3. So I want to see if this explains that as well and see what is behind what is going on. And seriously, though, in the end, I would not be shocked if we find out that the real villains that are trying to keep these families apart are just the DC editors themselves. And who knows, maybe we will get some sort of meta commentary from Joshua Williamson. And speaking of family, it's funny that this book shows up as we're about to lose the best family book at DC, Jeremy Adams' Flash. And while I hope people follow Jeremy to his upcoming Green Lantern book, I think that fans of at least the family dynamic, obviously we're not getting Wally and the kids and all that, but it has the family dynamic already, or at least it's trying to get it back. And it just feels like, again, it feels like this could be a rebirth book because it's giving you a promise of what we've been sorely missing since the beginning of Rebirth. And I think that most people that were loving that Flash family deal, they might want to check this out as well. And really, overall, this is a really good first issue. And it has the feel that I've been looking for in these Dawn of DC books. Joshua Williamson is trying to tie up loose ends. This doesn't feel like a book, okay, we're resetting things. Things that happen matter here. They're all coming together, and Joshua Williamson is trying to tie them all up, and in a way that feels kind of new and fresh. The art is fantastic. And while we have heard the cliche, quotes, this could change everything going forward, the mystery and what's going on by the end of this issue, it does feel big, and it does feel like it could change things, and hopefully could change things for the better. So all of that, everything I said, I'm giving this issue a 9.5 out of 10. And to put that in perspective, I don't think I've gone that high more than once or twice in years. So this gets my recommendation up there. I think that it's a really, really good start. I'm not saying it's going to end up great. I'm just saying that for a first issue, this really gives me the feels and the feeling of really what I've been looking for in this Dawn of DC. And really that is going back to what we were promised in Rebirth. So hopefully this will continue giving us those feels by the end. But thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please subscribe to the channel, as I said before, and let me know what you think of this issue in the comments below. But I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.